and to avoid any possible common mistakes. And remember, students always have these mistakes. We can always, whenever we grade your papers, we see a lot of mistakes. When we ask the students why, they say that we couldn't understand, we didn't notice, etc. Then, fourth objective is to write a well-organized paragraph or an email. In levels 1 and 2, you might be asked to write an email or a paragraph. You'll have two options actually. How to manage your time. Time management is very important during the exam, gentlemen. Sometimes time is one question of the exam, by the way, one component of your exam. Use certain strategies in answering the writing questions, keeping in mind the rating scale being used by graders. These are the objectives which we are expected to achieve. Now, what about you? For students, you are expected again to do these things. Before that, before talking about students, yeah, before doing the exam, good of you notice that the first step for you is to log in to question mark using your username and password. Read the instructions on the first page. The instructions are written in both English and Arabic. Then you click down on the last two lines. لقد قمت بقراءة وفهم تعليمات الاختبار أقر أنني على علم بالمقرر etc. The time for the exam is going to be 70 minutes. Then you click on إرسال. This will take you, and this is a screenshot from the first page, by the way. This is taken from your question mark platform where the exam is. You'll face this first page, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Now, how to deal with section number 1. Sorry, let me start with section number 1 and how it appears. Yes, this is section number 1, ladies and gentlemen, which is section A. It says put the words in order to make correct, grammatical, meaningful sentences. And in the exam, it will look like this, exactly like this. It is easy for you because it's in both in English and in Arabic. I'm sure that you can see it very well. You have an example here. So good if you look at the example, then you use your own skills in order to deal with the question. Before doing the question or answering the question, it is very important for everybody to notice these things, to keep in mind these things. First, you need to remember that the normal of the order sentence in English is subject, verb, and object. This is very important. This will help you order the words to make a good sentence. You should know that we start with the subject, then verb, then object. Then you will have to remember that any sentence must start with a capital letter. So in the exam, the question is being made easy for you. You can see one word, sometimes more than one word if there is a proper pronoun, but mostly there is one word written in capital. If this word, which is written in capital, is in front of you, you should always think of starting your sentence with. Then you need to keep in mind that any sentence must end in a full stop, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. And remember something very important. Any sentence has one idea. Each sentence has one idea. You don't have to have a lot of ideas in one sentence. Mostly one sentence means half a line or one line or mostly 1.5 lines, but not more. Next, ladies and gentlemen, you need to keep in mind that questions start with helping words or verbs or WH words. So if you can see a question mark among the words, you should look at the word with a capital letter, which is a helping verb or an auxiliary verb, or WH word is, can, what, how often, how many, and so on. This must be the first word in your sentence if it is interrogative, if it is a question. Some more ideas which might help you is if you keep in mind that helping verbs occur before main verbs. If you have can, if you have should, if you have are, if you have do, these verbs should be or should become, should occur before main verbs. Should go, can work, etc. Another idea which is very important for you is to know or to remember that prepositions occur before nouns, mostly before times and places, or pronouns. So when you put the words in order, keep this in mind. Number 7, the definite article, the, occurs before nouns or adjectives, then nouns or pronouns, of course. The grammar background should help you decide on the correct order of sentences. Your grammar background should help you. Adjectives mostly occur before nouns or pronouns, and adverbs mostly occur after verbs because they describe verbs. So if you keep these things in mind while doing your first section, the answers will be very simple and very easy for you. Now we can move to section B. As you can see, section B says correct the punctuation mistakes in the sentences, add capital letters and full stops. This is a very simple, but sometimes it is difficult for some students if they don't take care of it. In this section, ladies and gentlemen, again, you need to keep in mind a lot of things. That is when to use punctuation marks, full stop, comma, question mark, exclamation mark, colon, semicolon, apostrophe, etc. Though in your exams, the most common ones are the period, the full stop, and the question mark. These are the most common, especially in this question, section B. So please keep them in mind. The other thing you should keep in mind is when to use capital letters. That is the second part of the question. So again, keep in mind that all sentences start with capital letters. So all of the sentences you have 1, 2, 3, 4 must start with capital letters. Then proper nouns, geographical names, days of the week, months of the year, holidays, holy books, directions, north, south, east, west, and abbreviations, KSA, USA, UK, must always be capitalized. One more thing which students always have problem with is the pronoun I. The pronoun I, when I talk about myself, I is always capitalized. I is always capitalized. Keep this in mind in this question and when you write the email or the paragraph. Whenever you write I as a pronoun, it is always capital. One more thing is you need to keep in mind this very important thing, that all sentences end in full stops or question marks or exclamation marks. And in this section, section B, you will have sentences, 3, 4, 5 sentences. So please start them with capital letters, end them in question marks or full stops or sometimes exclamation marks. If you keep in mind these ideas, ladies and gentlemen, you will mostly have very easy way to answer you the section B. And remember that even section A and section B will lead you to easy making or easy dealing with section C, which is the email or the paragraph. So keep all of these things together because they integrate when you start writing the email or the paragraph. Section C, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be about, which is the main question here, the most important section here, is about one of two options. The first option is you're going to be asked to write an email, or you're going to be asked to write a well-organized paragraph. So you need to do one of these two things, either write an email or write a paragraph. And remember, section A will count 15%, 15 marks. Section B will count 15%, that is 15 marks. But section C will count 70%, that is 70 marks. It has the highest mark. So you need to be very careful in this section. You need to use your knowledge in and background in section A and section B and other writing skills in order to know how to deal with section C, which is the most important. Now we'll take the two options and we'll learn how to deal with writing an email, the components of the email, what is a good email, and what is a well-organized paragraph. While talking about the two things, we need to stress a lot of good points that should be followed, and we'll remember a lot of points that should be avoided in order to try to score highly, in order to try to have a high score. Going to section C, for example, this is taken from your practice exam on question mark platform. Section C there says, as you can see, your friend your friend needs a job. Write him or her an email about the job below. This is some information about the job. The information about the job should be covered when you write your email. And this is very important. All the bullets, 2, 3, 4 bullets, must be covered whenever you write an email or a paragraph. Now, the bullets here, notice it says, be sure to include all the information in the table. Then you have to use must or have to. Have to here means must, obligation. Then be sure to use must or have to and don't have to as you write when you write. So you use have to and don't have to, has to and doesn't have to. Keep in mind these things. These are two conditions that you have to write, you should use when you write your email. The things that you need to cover here are the job description, location in Dubai. The job is going to be in Dubai. Nature of job, pilot, flying at a plane. The business type, that is the place where to work, Emirates Airlines. Type of job, full-time, part-time, etc. It is a full-time job. The salary, 20,000 dirhams per month. Experience, 10 to 15 years of experience. Languages, English and Arabic. Requirements, work at night, fit and healthy, physically fit. Now, these are the points that you have to cover in your email. So you need to keep in mind all of these points. You must start with brainstorming, writing some ideas about these bullets or these parts or these words or these ideas in the email. After you brainstorm, you can start writing your email according to the type of email. Now, your friend, ladies and gentlemen, means informal email. Informal email. Now, if sometimes you are asked to write a formal email, your friend is informal, so you don't have to write dear Muhammad, comma, etc. If it is a formal email, you need to write dear Ahmed, comma, and so on. So if it is informal like this email to your friend, it should be an informal email. You don't have to use classic language, official language, polite or very polite language, etc. If it is, sometimes it can be formal. You should be very careful. If you are asked to write to your manager, if you are asked to write to your supervisor, to your doctor, to your university, to a hospital, to an institution, to school, and so on. Then you can write with polite language, start with dear manager, dear line manager, comma, then you go down and continue with the opening, etc. Now, just let me remind you, this is the practice example on question mark. I copied as it is. I took a screenshot. It's the same information. Now, when we write an email, this is very important. You need to know the components of the email. The components must be subject of email. For example, here, the subject is job, finding a job, job offer, and so on. Then you start with the salutation, which is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Salutation here exactly means, if it is formal, you write dear Khulud, dear Riham, dear Ahmed, dear Faisal, etc. And a comma. Remember the comma after the dear phrase. If it is informal, as you can see, you can write hi, hi Hamuda, hi only. No need here for punctuation marks, etc. Now, after the salutation, you need to start with the greeting and thanking the recipient. Sometimes you start with thank you for your message, thank you for your reminder, thank you for your telephone call, thank you for your WhatsApp message nowadays, and so on. Then you can start, of course, greeting. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. I hope my email finds you well, etc. Then you start with the opening or introduction. As usual, whatever you do in your life must be introduced. Whatever you want to say, you should introduce it. Whatever you want to write, you should introduce it. So in the email, again, you want to do something, you want to convey a message, you want to tell something to somebody. So you can't directly go to the core message. Instead, you need to introduce this. By introducing, I mean you give a warming up phrase or two, three phrases. You tell the recipient how you got to know this, how you read about this, how you saw the email, etc. Sometimes you write your feelings about this. Then we move to the most important part in the email, which is the body. Of course, when we said subject, it should be in one line, ladies and gentlemen. Salutation, one line. Greeting and thanking, a short paragraph. Opening and introduction, short paragraph, 2 or 3 sentences. Now, the body, which is the most important part, should have your message inside, should have what you request, what you want to do, what you want to say, and so on. Now, you write, I'll show you some examples. You write whatever you want to say, you request, you ask for something, you say that I need you to send me your catalog, etc. More information about the job, more information about the working hours, more information about the medical insurance since it is a job. You request more information about this. The next part or component after the opening and the body and the message and request, after you request what you need, what you want, you need to be positive again by thanking you again, wishing you, etc., hoping, looking forward to seeing you, looking forward to meeting you, etc. And the last component, the last part is the closing, which is where you write these phrases: sincerely, comma, sincerely yours, your signature, best wishes, best regards, and so on. All of these phrases are followed by a comma if you want to continue with your signature and your name. If you continue with your signature, your name, then you need to write a comma. If you don't want to write your name or the signature, which is not good usual to imply or to include these things, you can write the phrase, then full stop, no need for a comma. But if you write a comma, which is better and recommended, you should continue with your signature and your name. These are the components. I'll show you one sample, one example about an email. I hope that you can see the screen very well. Dear Abdulaziz, if it is formal. If it is not formal, hi, hi Abdu, hi by itself only, and so on. No need to write more. Now, if it is formal, as you can see here, I would like to thank you for your kind email, and etc., etc., etc. In fact, linking word. This is the linking word, of course. Then you introduce and you open and etc. Now, while writing these things, you keep in mind the ideas that you were asked to cover before. You were asked to write about the job description, the place, and so on. If you finish one idea, you explain everything in one idea. Good if you move to a second paragraph and you start a new paragraph, of course, with the capital letters and 3, 4 ideas about the job, for example. After you finish what you want to say in the body, look at being positive here, looking forward to seeing you soon. kind regards, signature, name, etc. A good advice for you students is to write, when you finish writing the email or the paragraph, and we'll come to the paragraph in 2 minutes. When you finish writing, it is very, very important to count the number of words and write them at the end of your email or paragraph. Like this example, between two parentheses, 162 words, 70 words, 90 words. This will make it easy for you and for the grader, and even will protect you. And nobody can tell you that you wrote 70 while you wrote 90. This is good documentation from your side. Good if you do it in case somebody does not count well and you might lose marks for that. So good to protect yourself by counting. Now this is for the first option, if you are asked to write an email. Second option is writing a well-organized paragraph. You might be asked to write a well-organized paragraph. If you want to write a well-organized paragraph, first of all, you need to keep in mind what is a paragraph, what the paragraph is, the meaning of paragraph, the components of paragraph, and how to write a paragraph in order to get a good mark. Remember, this paragraph, this email will count 70%. That is, most of your writing grade will be on the email or the paragraph. First of all, you keep in mind that a good paragraph is a group of sentences that deal with a single, means one topic. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sentences about one topic. All the sentences must be about one topic. Now, what makes a good paragraph? This is our concern here. We need to know this actually. What makes a good paragraph? This is very important. What makes a good paragraph? A good paragraph is composed of, first, name of topic, and this is very important. Most of the students usually miss this. Don't write the name of the topic in the middle of the page. Please make sure that you write the name of the topic, because all the paragraph will be about this topic. So when the reader looks at the name of topic, the reader should guess a lot of things about this topic. So keep in mind, write the name of topic in the middle of the page. Then an introductory sentence or two introductory sentences. What is introductory sentence? Introductory sentence means general sentence about the topic, but indirectly. They talk about the topic indirectly, not directly. Then the most important part of the paragraph is the topic sentence. Some people call it key sentence, main idea sentence, central idea, thesis statement, controlling idea, etc. This topic sentence, dear students, must explain the topic itself and must be explained later on by the supporting details or supporting sentences. We'll take some examples later on after we finish with this slide. Finally, the last part or component of the paragraph must be the concluding or the closing or the transition sentence. What is meant by concluding or closing sentence? Concluding sentence or closing sentence is sometimes a restatement of the main idea. Sometimes It can be advice, a piece of advice. Sometimes it can be a recommendation. Sometimes, if you're talking about a problem, it can be a solution. Sometimes it can be an opinion, a point of view. This is what is meant by concluding sentence or closing sentence. This is a sample of from old exams, maybe in 218. This is a sample. And look at the topic, and you have three topics actually here. After the three topics, two topics. After each topic, there are three bullets that must be covered. These bullets are the three parts of the body of the paragraph. So what you write is about 1, 2, 3. You must cover these 1, 2, 3 parts of the paragraph. This is another topic, again with three bullets. You need to cover these three bullets. To give you more explanation about the components again of the paragraph and to make it easier, I think on this slide it's much easier than the first one or the previous one. Name of topic, introductory sentence or sentences, 102, topic sentence, supporting sentences or details, and concluding sentence. Keep in mind these 5 very important parts in your paragraph. You can see these parts in a different way, how they are linked together here. Introductory sentence should introduce the topic sentence. Topic sentence should be explained by supporting sentences and supporting details. Supporting details should be followed by concluding sentence. This is another way of writing the parts, etc. Examples on these 5 parts. For example, for the topic, you might say, for example, topic, smartphones, mobile phones, cell phones. The main idea sentence must be smartphones have many uses. Look at the main idea sentence. It explains the topic. It explains the topic. And look at the supporting details. We use smartphones, we use them to take pictures and videos, save information, and watch movies. 3 details here. These 3 details explain the uses about smartphones in the main idea sentence, which explains more about smartphones, that is, uses of smartphones. Now, if you look at the concluding sentence, concluding, you need to conclude, you need to infer, you need to have an opinion, to give an advice, a recommendation. So, therefore, I advise anyone interested in smartphones to buy the latest model, to buy an iPhone, not a Huawei smartphone, etc., because you can use it for all of these uses mentioned, etc. So here you can include your opinion, you can include your advice, you can include your point of view, If there is a problem, you can include your solution, your suggestion for solution, and so on. This paragraph is a good example with the components of the paragraph actually. Look at this example. And for example, this is about a topic called My Dream Home. This is the name of the topic, dear students. So good for you to keep in mind the name of topic, like this in the middle of the page. After it, good if you leave one line in order to make it clear and important, and anybody can see it and can understand what he or she is going to read about. Then, if you look at the first two sentences in red, these are the introductory sentences. We all have dreams and hope to achieve them. To me, my dream is to have a nice home. If you notice in these two short sentences, we are talking about dreams in general. Then we started talking about my own dream. These are called introductory sentences. They introduce your topic and they introduce your main idea sentence. They have the topic indirectly, but they don't have the specific topic, my dream home, as it is. Now, my dream home should be explained in the next sentence, which is the main idea sentence or the topic sentence. If you look at the topic sentence here, it says, my dream home. Look at the topic, the same, my dream home should be a beautiful house in a nice neighborhood. This sentence is an idea, a main idea that explains the name of the topic, my dream home. And all the coming sentences, all the following sentences should explain this. What this beautiful house in a nice neighborhood looks like. The details should be explained later on in the coming 2, 3, 4 sentences. For example, here, look at the supporting details, supporting ideas. It should have a living room, a kitchen, 2 bathrooms, and 3 bedrooms. Moreover, all the rooms should be very big and bright. These are the specifications of the beautiful house in the nice neighborhood. What I need my home to be like or to look like. This is very important actually. Now, if you notice here, we
Hello, Kamal. Are you there? Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now, Todd?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you. Did you have a technical issue? Or?
No, maybe by mistake something happened. Yeah, it's okay now. Yeah, one more thing for you to know is that, again, all of these skills are very important, ladies and gentlemen, for level 2 and even level 3 and level 4 when you want to write an essay, not a paragraph. So you need this in writing the essay. We have one more minute. I'm sorry for that. Time is running. If you need more about writing, ladies and gentlemen, these are some websites for most of them are for the Academic Writing Center at the English Language Institute at King Abdulaziz University. You can find a lot of videos like this, a lot of recordings like this, a lot of PowerPoint presentations, and you can even go directly and have tutoring or receive coaching, whatever you need in writing. So good if you keep these links with you. These are some of my references in this workshop.
Okay, would you like to put the chat on now for them to ask some questions?
Yes, yes. Todd,
Yeah.
Todd, during the whole session, I was bothered by the notifications. X joined, X left. They all appear on my screen, and I had to open a different laptop and follow up on the different laptop.
Okay,
So
well, to do
how
that,
can I?
you go down to the bottom, show the session settings at the bottom, the cog at the bottom right.
Which bottom? The last one?
The like near the pink X on the right, the circle.
I can't understand you. Which one
You know,
exactly?
like when you see the chat panel and the share content, the one next to
Uh,
that, the
yeah,
circle.
the settings. I opened the settings. Then,
Yeah, the notification settings.
here they are. Yes, and uh, I should mute all of these things, right?
If you want to,
Wow.
yeah, it's up to you.
No,
Do
I
you want to
don't
give
need
more
them.
time to answer questions?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I'll change the
Let me
finish
just
time
finish
to
up this.
6:10 because in a large session like this, it kicks everybody out. Okay, so let's go through.
Okay,
We didn't hear
okay.
anything. There was no sound. Yeah, I don't know what. Right. Okay, we did have sound before. I could hear you before, but what else? Do you see the chat messages coming in there?
Um, I can't see any message, but I can see the number of messages there. There are about 18 messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, here they are. Yes. Started with. I swear I don't, I don't understand anything because there is no sound. Dear students, whenever you have problem with the sound, if you are the only one or two, yeah, good if you either refresh your screen or log out and rejoin. Yeah, this will solve your problem if you can't hear us. Why didn't I hear anything? There was no sound. That was at the beginning actually. اللي معنا الايميل والروتين عن صديق عن العائله الصح. These are examples only. دكتور وقفت تقريبا الصفحه 15 حطيت ميوت ما سمعنا شيء. No, I was talking actually. Maybe you had a problem with the sound. Chat is closed. Yes, it was closed. ما في we can't hear anything. Yeah, that was by mistake for 1 or 2 minutes when Todd reminded me actually. كم سطر المفروض نكتب فائزة? Actually, For level 1, you have to write 70 to 90 words. 70 to 90 words mostly means around 7 to 10 sentences. Now, sentences here are much better than lines. Don't think of lines. Think of words and sentences. You need to write between 70 and 90 words for level 1. Now, somebody answered you 70 to 90 words, which is good. We didn't understand anything, Hamza. Good. Even me, Hamza, I didn't understand anything. اللي معنى الإيميل والروتين صارنا. Yeah. How many words? 70 to 90. Some students, mashallah, answered you. No sound. That was for 1 minute only, I think, and that was by mistake. I'm sorry for that. More questions? So please, my advice is again, go to your book and study everything from units 1, 3, 4, and 5. Cover everything. Go back to the recording if you have access to this recording. Try again and again. I gave you a lot of examples. Look at all of these examples. You can find a lot of these workshops and presentations